Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Ashamed Heat Fan 69 here. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe. The Miami Heat lost tonight. That's an understatement. I believe it was the 5th biggest blowout in playoff history as the Heat go down by 55 points to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, of course, sweep the Miami Heat. The reason that I'm ashamed tonight is because I seem to care more about this team than the players. I'm ashamed to root for an organization that doesn't want to pay good players, overvalues bad players. I'm ashamed that in the very last playoff game that John Crotty and Eric Reed will ever call for the Miami Heat was a 55-point loss. I'm ashamed that I'm sitting here wasting my time watching playoff basketball when the Florida Panthers are the best team in town. Just had an incredible win tonight. But no, I didn't see it because I'm sitting here watching bad sports. But in all seriousness, there's no reason to be ashamed tonight, right? Because I need to give the Cleveland Cavaliers credit, of course, because the better team won tonight, right? So, all right, guys, face reveal. Here we go. That's right, guys. It's me, Anthony DiNardo, and the true reason, wow, I can finally breathe now. The true reason that I feel no need to be ashamed tonight is because I have to reveal something to y'all that I've been kind of keeping in the closet for a long time. Sounds weird to say it that way. There's no right way to say it. I'm just gonna come out and show everyone. I know this might look awkward, but this is not my OnlyFans content. Don't worry. That's right. The real reason that I'm not ashamed is because I've been rooting for the Cavaliers the whole time, baby. Hashtag all in, we believe. What the hell is they saying? Who the hell knows? That's right, y'all. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they dominate the Miami Heat and shut up all the haters that said the Cavs, the lights were too bright for us. Yeah, right. I seen Jared out there tonight. Unstoppable. Heat fans were saying that Donovan Mitchell wasn't 3 first-round picks better than Tyler Herro. My ass. That's right, baby. Cavs in 4. I think we play. Who do we play next? We play the Knicks, Pistons. Who cares? Cavs are gonna win that series too. In all seriousness, though, I don't know how I want to do this post game. Obviously, it's the last game of the season, right? Kind of a big deal. Do I want to crash out? I mean, maybe I'll work myself up enough to crash out, or maybe I don't care at this point. We're all tired of it, right? And I'm tired of y'all not subscribing because this is telling me that 56.7% of y'all are not subscribed yet. That's crazy. Hey, make sure y'all subscribe, Heat Nation. I do appreciate you. Let's get back into it. It's not like in game 2, I was very mad because the Heat were getting blown out and then came all the way back and then broke our hearts and it just sucked. At least this time, the Heat kind of put us out of our misery from the jump. But I should address, well, actually, I should start by addressing why I'm wearing a Cavaliers shirt. Funny enough, I was in Cleveland a year ago. My girlfriend has some family up there. Trust me, I was not there for vacation, even though it actually was a great city. Joakim Noah, he was a little bit too hard in Cleveland. There's a lot to do there. I actually really enjoyed myself. I will be back. But coincidentally enough, the Heat played the Cavs when I was there a year ago. Terry Rozier had a 4-point play game winner, if anybody remembers that. It was about the last time Terry Rozier was good at basketball. And they gave these shirts away at the game. At a regular season game, the Cavaliers gave away these shirts. Pretty nice shirt. Definitely way too small for me, or maybe I just been eating a lot more, eating my feelings away over the last year of how depressed I am to be a Heat fan. But yeah, what a concept. They gave away shirts at a regular season game. Meanwhile, I'm watching the Heat playoffs this year. No shirts. They gave away white rally towels. Rally? For what? What is there to celebrate, first of all? So we never even got to see the towels. Second of all, if anybody did wave the towels, it's looking like they were waving a white flag, which is the universal sign of giving up. So it's like from the jump, the Heat knew they were going to quit. They knew no one was going to try. That's why they gave away white flags to everyone to raise, as if to say, we quit. What a dumb thing. Seriously, we talked about this last post-game video too. It seems like such a trivial thing to be mad about the Heat organization not giving away t-shirts, but for a multi-billion-dollar organization with a multi-billion-dollar owner, I don't care how much of a hit Carnival Cruise Line took during COVID, Mickey Arison is wealthy, not rich, wealthy. He can afford to put 18,000 cheap-ass t-shirts on the stands for the fans who were there game after game after game, spent their hard-earned money on these overpriced tickets that are not cheap. The fans that spent a minimum of $200 today to get into the game, do they get a refund? Do they get a refund because you didn't put a good product out there? No. And at the very least, you couldn't give them a t-shirt. And even worse, they're selling those t-shirts in the Heat store for $35. There's some cheap-ass t-shirts, let me tell you. Because I used to go to the playoff games as a kid, and I still have all the t-shirts that we got back then. And honestly, that was one of the most fun things about going to a game as a kid. You know, me and my dad would go. We would get to wear the matching shirts. And I have the shirts from 10 years ago. It's just a super cool souvenir. And all the other teams are doing it. The Cavs are white hot. You see it in OKC. I think almost every other team is giving away T-shirts. But the Heat can't do it because they're that cheap. Especially after all the things the fans went through and the ones that still stood by your side and bought money to go to a game. You can't get T-shirts. How cheap of an organization do you have to be to not give away T-shirts? And again, I understand it seems like a minuscule thing to get mad about in a game you just lost by 55 points. But it's just like even the small things, the things that they can't control, they're not doing right. And we're watching the game. We see the players don't give a shit. And just watching the construction of the team to not giving away towels, you could tell the front office doesn't give a shit too. So there's really no reason to get mad. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I got a bunch of notes. I mean, we'll run through the quick game notes in like 30 seconds. First play of the game, Jared Allen gets a steal. Dunks. We talked about this a couple videos too. Ball hawk Jared Allen. Like he's freaking Darrell Revis out there on an island. Speedy Jared Allen. Who knew? Got a steal, fast break, dunk, following play. He could barely get the inbound in. Next possession, the Cavs got another steal. So from the jump, we kind of knew that it was over, right? Tyler Herro actually hit a three immediately to start the game. So within the first minute, that was his last basket of the game. You know what? I'm going to wait to get into Tyler Herro. That was his last basket of the game. Donovan Mitchell couldn't miss. Jared Allen had another steal off a Tyler Herro pass again. Ball hawk Jared Allen. The Heat are so bad, they are making Jared Allen look like he's Lou Dort out there. See Scottie Pippen. Eric Reed said, and I'm not getting on Eric Reed for this, he was very clearly frustrated, the most frustrated that I've ever seen him. He said he's confused by the score because he knows the players care. I don't think they do. I don't expect Reed to say anything different, but you don't get down, 30-8 off rip in a closeout game off home after just getting your ass bust last game if you care. Because yes, I said the Cavaliers are a better team than the Heat. We all know this. But they're not 4 straight blowouts better than the Miami Heat. There's no way. These are all NBA players. To lose by 55 points, to get down by as much as 60, no team in the NBA is 60 points better than another. It's just not the case. So when you see that kind of deficit, it's because the other team doesn't care, or they're not trying, or they quit. I saw that Shaq said at halftime he doesn't like to, or Chuck said it, one of them two. I don't know. I don't watch those national broadcasts. They all suck. You got to stay local, watch Reed, watch Crotty, which again, they're not going nowhere, by the way. Reed and Crotty, it's just starting next season. Local coverage will not cover the playoffs at all anymore. So Reed and Crotty will do regular season, but come playoffs, we'll be forced to watch the national television broadcast, which sucks. But one of the things I saw on Twitter that Shaq or Chuck said is that he doesn't like to, call players out for effort. He doesn't like to say they quit. But he said the Miami Heat quit. And if you watch the game, I don't see any other way you could say anything else about it. But yeah, that was it actually. Eric Reed said the players care. Don't think so. Funny enough, Davion Mitchell actually nailed a half-court shot, so the Heat were only down 43-17 at the end of one. So it was like the Chris Paul meme. Chris Paul hits huge lead to cut the deficit to 36. Basically what happened. Just funny because the Heat can't buy a bucket. Davion Mitchell nails it from half court. And go figure, it's him, the only guy who's played well all playoffs. But in the second quarter, I was starting to think, just put all the bums in. Not bums. Y'all know I like Kashad Johnson. But put in Kashad, put in Jaime Jaquez. I'm pretty sure Terry's still out with an ankle injury. Last year, he has a mysterious neck injury. No one knows what happens. This year, he has a mysterious ankle injury. No one knows what happens. How is that possible? I don't know. He sucks anyways. But Kyle Anderson got some run. Nobody else did until garbage time, but whatever. I mean, that game was so out of reach. It doesn't matter. It's just sometimes when things are going so bad in these games, I just am looking at Spo like, screw the rotation. Put in Kashad. Put in everyone else because it can't get worse than what it currently is. But we didn't really see that. The Heat were down 70-25 at one point, which has to be a scoregami. If y'all don't know what a scoregami is, it's a score that's never happened before. I guarantee the final score was probably one tonight. There's a whole Twitter page that keeps track, believe it or not. But they ended up being down 41 at the half. And then in the third quarter, Eric Reed was pissed because the Cavs were up 98-53. And then Kenny Atkinson called a challenge on a Cavs foul. And Eric Reed is like, oh, that's ridiculous. Why are they challenging? And I agree. I'm like, okay, E. Reed, show some damn heart. Because no one on the team is. You could tell E. Reed cares about it. And I respect the hell out of him for that. And funny enough, obviously Cavs called timeout so they could challenge. And coming back from timeout, I guess they came back a little bit early. And I guess Eric Reed didn't know his mic was on yet. And you kind of heard him mumbling under his breath. Oh, it's just stupid. It's just ridiculous. And then he's like, yeah, okay, so the refs are coming back. Let's see what it is. So it's like they kind of caught his hot mic. And you could tell he was mad. And I get it because that's ridiculous. Kenny Atkinson seemed like a nice guy. Probably going to hell for that. But then to end that quarter, Ty Jerome actually hit like his own just inside half court heave on Davion Mitchell. So funny, Davion hits one in the first quarter, Ty Jerome hits one in the third, and that would put the Cavs up 48. And obviously they ended up getting down as much as 60. You saw a bunch of the kids in the fourth quarter, but I wasn't paying attention to the fourth quarter as much because I was busy cutting this out. Luckily enough, I just went to Whole Foods today, so I got the idea. Luckily I still had the bags, and I got the idea like in the second quarter. I was like, let me go get one of those bags, cut the holes in it. May save this to run this character back in the future. Hopefully I never have to do that. But yeah, let me just go through some of my notes here. I just started taking the notes of a bunch of things I wanted to talk about in this video. I guess we'll do the box score after. Yeah, let's go through these first. So yeah, biggest blowouts ever was or if y'all remember, for the longest time, the biggest blowout in NBA history was the Cavs over the Heat in like the late 80s or something. It was a 68-point deficit. So it's just funny that here we are now, biggest playoff blowout in franchise history at the feet of the Cavaliers. And of course, the Heat, thank God, no longer hold that terrible record for regular season loss, because it was like, 5 years ago where the Grizzlies won by like 73 versus the Thunder. It's funny because now the Thunder got their payback versus the Grizzlies too. But yeah, just kind of funny there. I was keeping track of the Panthers score because it's like last season. We'll have plenty of time to watch Panthers hockey now. I did see they ended up winning 4-2. It scored like 2 goals in 11 seconds. Listen, I'm not a big hockey guy. I know a lot of people watching this aren't, but if you're from South Florida or a fan of the South Florida sports like I am, even though I'm really only diehard for the Dolphins, the Hurricanes, football, and the Heat, obviously, I got to get back in tune with the Panthers because during their run last year, I was watching, of course, and they won the championship. It was awesome. Like, things suck with the Heat. At least we have that. I need to take advantage of it because it's not very often you have a championship caliber team in your city, and we have that with the Panthers. But obviously, we're watching this game. You start thinking about just everything that went wrong for this organization. The fact that Dwayne Wade is not here. He's in Utah. But all these people in the league, they're still like friendly with him, or they look up to him, and you can't keep him in the organization. It's just like going back. There's so many things. I don't know. I just wanted to know the Dwayne Wade thing because I saw some of that going around on Twitter here. If you're watching this video, then you are an elite ball knower, so why not take advantage of it with MyBookie? Listen, y'all, throughout the NBA playoffs, I'll be using their live betting feature to smash the Davion Mitchell overs and smash the Rudy Gobert unders, and then using their early cash out option to stack up the profits. If you want to do the same, make sure to sign up for MyBookie using promo code MM50, which will instantly boost your first deposit. And then once the games wrap up, you can check out their casino, which has blackjack and slots and roulette, you name it. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. Now let's get back into the video. And I wrote about the Heat culture, the motto, the jerseys. Better never see that again. I mean, part of Heat culture is dominating at home, not losing home playoff games. I don't think the Heat have won a home playoff game in like it's almost 800 days now. I saw it was like game 3 versus Boston or something a couple years back. Just ridiculous. I mean, they really took something that meant something, that was branded during, when Pat Riley came here, he brought Alonzo Mourning. It meant something. There was toughness. And now you have a team that is quitters. That's the complete opposite of Heat culture. But no, let's market Heat culture because it went from something that means something to a damn brand, a brand that means nothing. And it's sickening as a Heat fan because I used to pride myself as being a fan of the team that has some culture because, I mean, I like that as fan. Toughness, grittiest, unselfish, nastiest team in the NBA. Like, they seem to care. And as a passionate fan, to have a team that cares about all the little things and the intangibles, I was proud of that. Even in that 2023 run when you had Jimmy and, Bam and all the undrafted guys, those guys had heat culture. The undrafted guys, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, they were some dogs out there. And it just seems like you don't have that no more. I mean, I'm watching these games. Of course, Davion Mitchell's got a dog, but I mean, I guess people follow the leader, right? They look at the leader for leadership, and you got Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo out there. It's like they don't care. We can talk about Tyler Herro. Then I can't get any longer without getting into it. Tyler Herro, he is now the leader of this team, and just some of the things that he said and done over the course of this postseason and this season, it's pitiful. It really is. Like, he wants to be honest, right? You remember earlier in the season, he truthfully admitted that this Heat team doesn't have enough to win a championship. And at the time, I found it a bit refreshing because for so many years, you heard Jimmy say time and time again, we're going to win it this year. We're going to win it this year. And I always believed him, but he was always wrong, for one reason or another, whether it was in his control or not. He was always wrong. But I did respect that he had the confidence in his guys to say that publicly. Tyler Herro going out there and saying, yeah, we don't have enough to win. While I appreciate the honesty, it kind of tells the rest of his teammates, hey, Tyler doesn't think we're good enough. And now we have the quote that just came out yesterday that I made a whole video about it yesterday. Go check it out. Where Tyler Herro deliberately said, I need Jimmy Butler to win. And there's no additional context. I read through the entire article in yesterday's video. He literally meant, I need Jimmy Butler to win. Which, what does that tell your teammates? That tells them that you're not good enough? You don't think you're good enough? Now, again, brutally honest answer by Tyler Herro. And I respect that. And I wonder what that's going to do for him because we know he's going to come into this offseason where he's extension eligible and demand a max. How you going to demand a max when you just admitted that you can't be the guy? That quote might come back to haunt him, but in reality, it doesn't matter what he said. I mean, his game does the talking. They're not going to give him no max after his playoff performance. But he wants to be honest when he says that stuff. But he also had the quote after Game 3 where he said, I love the way the Cavs defense is playing. They're face guarding me, and I love it because I figured it out. That is the biggest damn lie I've ever heard in my life. He scored again, his only basket within the first minute of the game, and did not score again. I need to put on this for the next part. I need to put on this bag for the next part. Hold on a second. I am ashamed because just a month ago, I made a video titled, Tyler Herro's playing perfect basketball. Now I'm an idiot. Now I'm an idiot because I said Tyler Herro's playing perfect basketball. He sucks. I gave Tyler Herro the benefit of the doubt all year. The beginning of the season, my prediction video, I predicted him to be an all-star. I was right. And even though he struggled after he was made the all-star team and struggled in the first few games of the series, I was very critical of him because I'm a realist. I'm not a stan or nothing yet. Y'all know that. But I was critical of him, but I believed in him. Even today, I had a parlay. I took Herro over like 25 points. I had no shot. Now, again, I did not throw a lot of money on it because... obviously, like I know my team. I threw $5 on it. We're chilling, But I believed in him, and I'm an idiot. I'm a fool. I'm a liar. Whatever else you want to say about me is me. To come into this game with that performance that he had after Darius Garland was talking trash, who again didn't play today, 2 games in a row, didn't even have their starting point guard. They still blew us out. The Cavaliers did. But to come into this game, you had 4 points. I don't know. After talking like that, after saying you need Jimmy Butler, but then saying you figured out the Cavs defense when you very clearly didn't, I don't know. We'll talk more on him when we get into the box score. What else we got here? One of the kind of more serious note, somber tone things is Kevin Love, I think, was there today. We saw him embrace with his longtime teammate Tristan Thompson in the pregame, and he was crying. He was emotional. Obviously, Kevin Love has missed a lot of times this year for personal reasons. I think one of them was for the birth of a child. I forget, though, but we know at least the recent one was because of the passing of his father. And that's just, it's very, very sad to think about. And I just kind of want to put my thoughts out there with Kevin Love because, honestly, I went through the same thing this year. Some of you may know, some of you may not. It was literally the day before the first game of the regular season. Like, that happened to me, and the Heat went out, and they got blown out by the Orlando Magic. And if y'all go back and look at that post-game video, you could very, very clearly see that I didn't care. I didn't care that the Heat got blown out first game of the season. So I guess I just kind of wanted to bring that up to, one, share my condolences for Kevin Love, but two, just mention as bad as things are now, like, it is just basketball at the end of the day. And if the Heat would have won, I'd be saying the same thing because it's just basketball. So if there's any other fans out there that are taking this loss a little bit too hard, just try to take a step back, put some perspective on it, and just realize there's more to it than life than Heat basketball. Because one of the things that kind of helps me from legitimately crashing out and all that stuff, like I might have, when I was a lot younger, is you see these players don't care as much as us fans do. And some of them, at least. Davion Mitchell cares. Tyler Herro, I don't know. But if they're not going to care, why am I going to care? You know what I mean? So I just kind of want to put that out there and share my condolences for Kevin Love, because obviously I know what he's going through. I kind of went through the same thing this year, and obviously there's a lot bigger things in basketball. I would have liked to see him out there versus former team. I would have liked to have his leadership in the locker room during these trying times, but maybe he'll be back next year. We'll see what happens. I think he's only 36, 37. And as a locker room presence, I don't have anything but positive things to say about it. Based on what we heard, I thought the Instagram trolling all year brought some levity to a really dark situation with the whole Jimmy Butler thing. I appreciate Kevin Love and everything he's done this year, although it really hasn't transferred on the court. What else do we got here? A couple of the things that I wonder about this game is how this affects the Heat's offseason. Are any stars who maybe were interested in coming here, are they now discouraged? Like we know for years, Damian Lillard was on our list. Kevin Durant was on our list. Like stars have had us on their list. We just haven't had enough assets to get them. Now, this time around is a little bit different. You got 3 tradable first-round picks. It could be 4. It would have been 4 if they missed the playoffs. But it still could be 4 if they amend some protections on that Charlotte pick in 27. They can make it unprotected in 28. Still have 4 tradable first-round picks. So you have some assets. Obviously, Ware, Jovic, I don't know, Tyler. But I'm wondering if stars will even put us on their list anymore. Like, we know Kevin Durant wanted to come here when we were a competitive team. He said he's going to be watching these playoffs to kind of see how things go before deciding what he wants to do. He wanted to be here when Jimmy was here. The Heat was the best case scenario. People were looking at this Heat team. Oh, wow, they got Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, and nothing else, and undrafted guys, and they're going to the finals? Imagine if I was there. Imagine if me, Kevin Durant, was there. Or me, John Morant, or Trae Young. Imagine if I was there. We'd win the whole thing. But now those same stars might be looking at the Miami Heat and saying, oh, without Jimmy, this team is nothing. Maybe they don't want to come here no more. And if it's a trade, again, they might not have a say, but how much have the Heat's assets lowered this season? Jaime Jaquez was a huge asset last year. He had a terrible season. Now, I still think he could bounce back. He's still only 24 years old or whatever. But teams aren't going to want to give up as much for Jaime Jaquez. Nikola Jovic had an okay season, then he missed a month with a hand injury. And then in the playoffs, obviously, he played sparingly. But it's a bad look on everyone when you get killed by that much. Khalil Ware had a great regular season. Was worthless in the playoffs. I'm not putting that on him. He's a rookie. He'll get better, of course. But as far as teams valuing our young assets, they might not at this point. Tyler Herro was an all-star this year. He probably had tons of value. But then teams saw him get exposed in the playoffs. Who's going to want to trade for a Tyler Herro who's up for a huge extension when they see he can't perform in the postseason? I just wonder how this affects the Heat's future. It's not a good look, man. It's not a good. It might have been a better look just missing the playoffs and not having this stank over the eyes of the entire NBA community. What else do we got here? Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the other notes I had. We'll look at the box real quick here. Andrew Wiggins today, 12 points, 5 rebounds, literally 12 points and 12 shots. We talked a lot about him last video, about and how awful that trade was because the Heat still didn't pick a direction. He's 30 years old, doesn't fit the timeline, gets paid a lot of money for a lot of more seasons, and he's not a needle mover. And even defensively, we thought, okay, if he can't hit the shots, he'll be impactful defensively. He's not. It was okay in the regular season when he played. Was hurt a lot. Maybe that's just some fluke stuff. Who knows? But in the playoffs tell. He was terrible in the playoffs. Couldn't even be aggressive. Couldn't do anything, truthfully. But we'll have all offseason talk about all these players individually. Bam Adebayo, 13 points on 13 shots in a closeout game. He had a double-double. They were trying to celebrate that late in the game. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? You celebrating that? Like, shout out to Bam Adebayo, everything he's done for this franchise. I think you could build a team with him as a pillar, but you need like 2 stars next to him. You know, you need a Giannis and someone else. I don't know who, like a real legit guard, because yes, Bam is wildly overpaid. A max player for a guy who is this inconsistent and can't be the number one is a lot of money. But I still think in the right system, we could see him be successful, because the reason I'm not as hard on Bam as I am with Tyler Herro, and don't worry, all the people in my comments, especially you, Mac, who's always commenting, where's your Bam Adebayo slander video? I don't like the word slander. It's going to be a constructive criticism video. I will make it on Bam. I'll call it the Heat have a Bam Adebayo problem, which is his contract because he gets paid way too much. And we'll get into that in that video and basically talk about how he's not worth that money necessarily. Although he is elite offensively, he's just too inconsistent offensively to justify a max, in my opinion. Close to a max. I'm not saying he's a minimum guy. People think whenever I say someone's not a max player, they're a minimum guy. No, he's just not a max. Maybe instead of $50 million plus, maybe he's 40, 45. We're in the same ballpark. But anyways, the reason I'm not as critical about Bam is because we've seen him be the best player in the postseason. We've seen it against the Celtics in 2020, 2022. We saw it in the finals in 2023. We've seen Bam perform exceptionally in playoff series. We've never seen that with Tyler Herro. You've seen a handful of games sprinkled in, but you've never seen him have a fully great playoff series. And that needs to be criticized. It does. I'm sorry. He wants the money. He wants to be the guy. He wants to say that, oh, this is now my time to shine. Back-to-back postseasons, no shows as the guy. Tonight, 30 minutes, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 of 10 shooting. 1 of 10 shooting from Tyler Herro in a closeout game. How are the stands going to defend him? I don't know. I have Herro stands watch this channel. Let me know down in the comments below. I've criticized him enough. I'm going to try not to make this a 30-minute video. Davion Mitchell today, 8 points, 5 assists, whatever. Hopefully he's back. I'm worried that the Heat might get tricked and pay him $15+ million because he had a hot second half of the season. I don't think he's worth that much. I'm cool paying him 8 to 10. Probably not much more than that, but we'll see what ends up happening with him. Of course, he's been one of the only bright spots for the Heat the second half of this season. Love Davion Mitchell, bro. Who doesn't? Hayward Heisman, 2 points today. He's had some moments this season, but he's not a starting 4. He should never be in the rotation as a 4. You wonder if he's got I think 1 more year left on the contract. You wonder what will happen with him. Hopefully he can kind of bring in someone with a little bit more upside offensively. Although I do love what he brings to the table as far as a 40% 3-point shooter, and can play defense. He's just a little too small for where they're trying to play him. He should be a 2-3, not a 3-4. I think that's the problem with this Heat team is they have a lot of holes in the point guard spot and in the center spot. So they're trying to play guys in positions that they're not. They're trying to play Tyler Herro as a point guard. They're trying to play Hayward Highsmith as a 4. And it just doesn't work. Although these are good players. Because as much as I get on Tyler Herro, he's not worth $50+ million. He's probably worth 35 to 40. That's still a lot of money. Now give him a real point guard who could get him the ball, let him play off ball a little bit more to use his shooting prowess. Get him a true number 1 like a Giannis who takes all this attention and really allows Tyler Herro to cook. I think he can still be an exceptional player in this league, just not a max player. That's all. Pelle Larson, nice to see him get some run. 12 minutes for him, or 12 points for him. We didn't even talk about Khalil Ware's stat line, 2 points for him. That was in garbage time, but he'll get better. He needs to put on muscle. We'll see what happens in the offseason. Kyle Anderson, 7 points, or 7 minutes, no points. And then Jovic was kind of your leading point getter for the game. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 8 of 15 shooting. So the box score looks good. Maybe that's enough to incentivize the team. Although, I do think Jovic did take a step this season. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the future if he's still on this Heat team. But Duncan Robinson, 14 minutes, no points. Has $20 million for no points in a playoff game. Jaime Jaquez, 12 minutes. And Keshad Johnson, that's my guy, 6 minutes. But whatever. I mean, we don't got to talk about all these players too much because the point is nobody is off limits. There are no untouchables on a team that just got blown out by 55 points in a closeout game at home. I hope I don't have to explain that to people, especially if a guy like Giannis is available with obviously the Bucks' future up in the air with Damian Lillard. Hopefully everything, he can recover and continue his basketball career, a year from now. That remains to be seen, but Giannis is not going to wait. Giannis going to want out. So I think some stars will be available. We got a whole offseason to talk about it. So make sure y'all subscribe so you don't miss it. Like the video, comment. I do appreciate everyone that's tuned in this season. We've had a ton of growth this season, and like that means something to me. Seriously, I read every comment. I try to reply to all the ones that I can, because if y'all are taking the time out of your day to comment and help the algorithm, the least I can do is reply, because it genuinely means a lot to me. Y'all know the goal is to do this content creation thing full time one day. I got big aspirations, and I can't do it without y'all. So I do appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all, Heat Nation. We'll be coming with plenty of content this offseason. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.